Good morning. If y'all are watching on Facebook, hop on live with us. We would be happy to chat with y'all. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, beautiful ladies.
How are
and maybe a
you?
gentleman. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's your week been?
Interesting.
Interesting. Hopefully interesting in a good way.
Different. Neither good nor bad, just kind of tilted.
Okay. Well. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Waking up.
Oh, yeah, it's early there still, huh? How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I think I'm trying to revamp like my social media presence. So I've been working pretty hard on that this week.
Awesome. So what are you doing to do that?
I've been using AI a lot and
Awesome.
trying to leverage that. Yesterday I did my first live video, which was really scary. And I think like 2 people watched it. One was my husband. And so I just want to get like more content on my page, and I have it on my business page, and I'm scared to put it on my like personal page, but I'm putting like more posts on my personal page to click onto my business page to watch the live videos. And so I only did
Awesome.
one that I've been working on this week, and I don't know, like I kind of followed the content that Sherry put in like the marketing modules. And so I have like that spreadsheet, and I've been like dedicated to follow that. And
Awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying.
Good job. That's exciting.
It's scary. It's scary to get out there and like put your face on things, and I don't know. Yeah.
I will say, Nicole, I've seen a couple of your things this week, whereas normally I don't see everyone's, but when you guys start posting, I see your stuff. And
Oh.
I have your stuff a lot more this week.
Oh yeah. I was telling Megan, I've been using ChatGPT a lot this week and trying to really leverage it. And I took your guys' advice on trying to like talk to it more. And it seems to be like I'm getting more and more used to it. So it's just hard. It's weird. I don't know. It's hard to get used to, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It can be. But yeah, the more you use it, you get familiar with it, and it gets familiar with your personality, the way you would write something and stuff like that. So that's super helpful, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you guys post like on your like personal page, like your videos and stuff, or do you also do your business page, or where do you guys typically do that?
So I've been so when I was doing lives for my business, I've not done lives in a while for like my bookkeeping business. I was doing them on my personal page. I wasn't even doing them on my business page. I also, majority of my posts go on my personal page. I do post on my business page as well. But I always like copy and paste and try to make sure it's either on my personal page or it's on both.
Yeah.
But lately I've been doing like reels, but that's on my personal page. And I guess my reason behind it is you have a little bit more control over your personal page as far as like you can send friends requests out and stuff like that, whereas your business page you can't. So you can build your audience a little bit more like that, because you can send friends requests out to business owners and stuff like that. Once you send the friends requests out to the business owners, then you can invite them to like your page and stuff. But that gives you a little bit more, can build your audience a little bit more, I feel like.
That makes sense. I honestly didn't know that. Okay.
Facebook, the only caveat is Facebook, if you have a business page, if you post every day, they start to recognize you as a legit business. Now, granted, don't go look at my Facebook page. It's been, Facebook told me it's been 23 days since I posted. I had something happen a couple of months ago and I've been really silent on Facebook since. I'm working on it. I'll get there. But
yeah, it's
that I've kind of taken a break from
consistency. It's hard.
But on your page, Facebook starts to take you legitimately. So what I've noticed has happened on my business page, if I go switch over to my business page to post or look at it or answer a message or something, you know how you have to switch profiles?
Yeah.
And then if you forget that you switch profiles, you start scrolling.
Yeah.
And you're seeing stuff that you don't see normally. And if they're not, if the business owners that you're following and are following you, vice versa, do that themselves, they're going to see your stuff. So take advantage of those moments, right? Where they can see your stuff because they're not often on that page. They're not often following business owners. So like invite them to like you, still post every day to your business, like copy paste post. And that could be a quick, let's not make it overcomplicated, right?
Yeah.
That could be a quick photo of you sitting at your desk saying back at it on Monday, whatever, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Now, I recognize, do as I am saying, not as I am doing. I'm recording videos right now, like little shorts in that time. And what I told myself was when I started Upwork, I would about 3 times a day get on Upwork, like in the morning when I was, so y'all all know I was probably sitting with a baby, and I would open my phone. So I had everything I needed on my phone. I made it stupid easy for me to do this. And I would open Upwork, I would bid on some jobs, and I would move on. I would do that middle of the day and end of the day. But I hit it, I was like, when am I going to do that now? Well, same concepts apply. Make it super easy so that you can say, okay, 5 minutes, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this.
I figured out like how to do the scheduling, but I'm only able to figure it out on the business page. And so I scheduled like a whole bunch of them. But would you recommend like copying and pasting that from the business and just, okay.
Yeah, know what time of day you schedule them. So if you're scheduling them at same time every day, or you set a reminder on your calendar or whatever. So if you know they're posting at 10 o'clock, go right after that, or sometime, after it's posted, and just copy and paste it is what I would do.
Because Megan, didn't you say once, like not to share it, right? To your personal, okay.
And I don't know how all of that works, because different coaches you talk to say different things. But what I've heard is like if you post it on your business page and you're sharing it, it doesn't get seen as much because they're wanting business pages to pay for like advertisements and stuff like that. So if you're not paying for the ads, the algorithm, your post on his page.
Yeah.
So whereas if you're posting it from like your personal page, like there's ways to trick the algorithms and stuff like that, because if you start liking other people's posts, you start commenting on their posts and stuff, they'll start seeing your post as well. So like there's ways on your personal page to like kind of trick it, I guess you could say, whereas on your business page, it's not as easy to do that.
So, and should I be like liking and commenting and engaging on both pages? Or is it more effective to do it on your personal so that people go and click on or
so So if anybody comments or likes your post, and you can go comment and like your post on your business page and stuff. The more interaction those posts get, the better. So if somebody comments, you definitely want to go back and reply to the comment and say something. But like as far as interacting with their personal pages, you won't be able to do that unless there's a way, and I don't know about it. You won't be able to do that from your business page, but you can do it from your personal
From the
page.
personal.
Yeah.
But do you guys go on your business page and interact with other businesses or not really?
I don't.
Yeah, okay.
It's everything that I do has been like find the business owner on Facebook and send them a friend
Yeah.
request. It's been from like
Okay.
that standpoint.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of the angle I was taking too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I
okay.
mean, that's what's worked for me, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. How's everybody else's week going?
Busy.
Busy?
Busy. Yeah,
That could be a good thing.
it is. It's a great thing, but I just wish
Awesome.
I knew what I was doing.
Anything we can help with?
I'm going crazy because I think I have my client that she commingled at the beginning of the year. So because of that, when I started working with her, I manually uploaded her credit union and her PayPal. And so I'm trying to go through and categorize, and I think I have a couple of duplicates now in there because I probably added instead of, if you're supposed to transfer or whatever.
Right.
So how do you get rid of duplicates, or can you, or do you just exclude it, or?
Yeah, I would just exclude if there are duplicates. I mean, of course it depends on how many, but yeah, usually excluding is the easiest way to do it.
Because I don't want to delete anything just in case I have to go back and grab it or whatever, but
Yeah, and if you
yep,
if you exclude it, it goes to that other tab or whatever, so you can easily undo that.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go through and do that. So then you just go ahead and once I'm done with that, then I go ahead and just reconcile as normal, right? It should work.
Correct.
Even though I manually updated it, it should be fine.
Yep, everything should be good.
PayPal is a pain in the butt.
It is. It definitely is.
So is there, I was doing a little bit of research, and so I think maybe I did it out of sorts, like I did it out of order. So I went to the bank account first and I did the transactions, and then I went to PayPal. Should I have done PayPal first and then
Please confirm that 12
bank account?
Or
does it really matter?
So with PayPal,
I don't think it matters too much.
Or coding it?
Sorry, what?
Are you transferring like the PayPal transactions, or are you coding the transactions?
Well, I thought I was categorizing, and then if it says transfer, there was a little blurb on here. If you hit add, we'll show both in and out of your accounts. And I thought, oh, okay, then I'll be able to match. So I hit add, and I'm thinking maybe that's what duplicated some of the transactions.
So it can, if it's so PayPal also acts as a pass-through for some transactions. Those transactions I handle a little differently. So if it's like a PayPal transaction is being paid by my checking account, you actually have to transfer it and then code it on the banking. So you have to pay attention to which account or like which transaction is doing what. If it was a PayPal transaction paid with like PayPal credit or PayPal funds, then you would code it. Outside of that, some of them are going to be transfers, or you'll duplicate the expense because you'll code it on the checking because it's going to show up on checking and it's going to show up in the PayPal transactions.
So you don't categorize both. You're gonna categorize one and then transfer instead of
the other or
categorizing both.
exclude it. Yeah. Because PayPal is just acting as the payment processor.
Okay, should I just start over? Like, can you undo everything?
You can't undo everything. You might consider getting in a, well, I always hate to say undo before someone has looked at it.
Okay.
In terms of like, if you could use a one-to-one in this might be something to use a one-to-one on. I know those are limited and precious, I get it, but I would hate to tell you to undo something before someone else has looked at it and said, yes, for sure, spend your time undoing.
It's so confusing because it just says PayPal and it doesn't give any details. So I'm going off of a spreadsheet and then the statements for PayPal to see like the details on who it was, because she only uses it for a couple of people. So I mean, in that respect, it's kind of easy. She has an Airbnb and she does her payments. Well, she was doing her payments for her contractors, like her lawn guy and her pool guy. And so, I mean, but now I'm like, oh, shoot, what did I do? So maybe I'll think about doing a one-on-one. I'm not too sure if my, whatever I signed up for has one-on-ones. I think I have to do them separate.
Yeah. So I would use a one-to-one.
Okay.
Message me if you're trying to figure out how to use it. But
is there anybody in the group that I'm sure everybody is good, but some people have their specialties or whatever.
Jara's great with any of those kind of things for sure. I mean,
Sure.
there are several, but Jara's
Yeah, yeah.
like, she loves that kind of stuff.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Thank you.
yeah, I think some of them you'll either want to exclude or transfer. But when you look at the PayPal statement, it should tell you how they paid. And if it's a debit card connected to, or like the bank account connected to the checking, you know it's a pass-through transaction. So Jared can probably explain it better.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I did put the link to the co-working call if you wanted to jump on that one too.
Oh, it's different than this. Did you? I was like, wait, I'm on a call.
We do so many. Yeah,
So-
no, you're totally fine to stay on this one.
Okay.
I just didn't know if you wanted, so Abby is doing that one today, and she doesn't normally do them. So if you wanted to,
Oh, okay.
get to know her, one of those things.
Okay. Thank you.
But you're also welcome to stay. I'm not kicking you out.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, it does.
What else might? Good job, Tom. That's it. Because that is about 5 a day. It's great. It's a good start.
Awesome.
And then you'll slowly build that up to where you're maybe 30, 40 a day, but you want to build up to that. You don't want to just start doing that or you'll get penalized by Facebook. Well, yeah, what is everyone else doing for marketing? Oh, this, okay, perfect.
That's pretty good. That's how many have accepted, because I feel like I send a ton out and I mean, some accept, but I don't feel like I get that many that actually accept most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like, because even for me, I'm getting a lot of friend requests, but I don't see them. Like I have to go search for friend requests, and then I'll go add a bunch of people. So I don't know if Facebook, I'm just thinking out loud, I don't know if Facebook is change, like if there's something, an incentive being changed, like to do the professional so you have followers, or you know how like when there's a new feature they'll like incentivize.
Push for it, yeah.
I just noticed that the other day. I have a ton of friend requests that I haven't been seeing at all. So
Ashley said on Facebook she's been doing next door, but she's had good results with Craigslist. Most of her calls come from there.
guys, can we talk about Craigslist? Let's pause on that, because that's an under talked about asset. So the only thing I could not help you with a Craigslist strategy today. If you want me to figure it out, let me know. My husband, though, also Kyle, if you're on any of the calls with him, he also has a phone repair business, which is very local. We were talking to the SEO guy and the BNI group that he's in. And even then, guys, so BNI is such a hit and miss. Some people get all of their clients from BNI and do really well with it. Others don't. So like when I was in it, I didn't get that many. The group really wasn't set up for it. Kyle also gave me feedback that his group probably would not refer for bookkeeping either. So just an interesting thought. But with Craigslist, so we were talking to him. If you have 50 blogs on your website that are optimized to SEO for local search, you're doing more than most people around you. The app, if you look in your area, I think in Phoenix and here in Albuquerque, it's like if I were to have 30 Google My Business reviews for local search, I would be doing more than most people in Albuquerque for their bookkeeping business. But then with Craigslist, he's doing a Craigslist strategy where it's like, I think it's $100 a month that they're investing in Craigslist, and they're having really good results with like service-based businesses on Craigslist. But I don't fully know the strategy. Just
Ashley said she's doing a post every 2 weeks. They're 30-day posts. So when one falls off, there will be a second one, and just do it every 2 weeks. So that's what she's doing.
cool. Keep us posted. I think it depends on your area for Craigslist, because I went to go look here for something for Craigslist and it was like, do people still use Craigslist? But they do. Here it feels a lot less, but this particular advertiser is doing really well with his Craigslist strategy. So apparently they still do. And I know if I need something, actually I found my house cleaner recently, and I found my house cleaner on Craigslist, interestingly enough. And I don't use it very often, but I was kind of desperate of like, where would I search? So think about your clients from that standpoint. Like if they're desperate for a bookkeeper, where are they searching? Where are they searching? Be where they're searching. Facebook is one of them, because Facebook is, I didn't know I needed this, or I've been needing that. Craigslist is definitely, oh my gosh, I need a bookkeeper. Upwork is, oh my gosh, I need a bookkeeper. Fiverr can be, I don't use Fiverr. I feel like if I go to Fiverr, I am expecting to get someone overseas, and that I don't feel like that's always a good thing. Sometimes it's fine. It's great. I have definitely worked with people overseas, and I could, like, it goes amazing. Other times it just feels like such a hit and miss to me. So that's my perception of Fiverr. That could just be my perception. Where else? Like I wouldn't go to eBay looking for bookkeeping. So it's not a service based. I'm trying to find more groups to join, but it hasn't been easy. Seems like they are. So is it harder to find groups? I feel like I see group stuff a lot a ton right now.
Yeah, what are you searching, or keywords and stuff that you're putting in, I guess, Nicole? Was that Nicole?
So mostly like restaurant owners, Arizona restaurants. I've done Arizona startup restaurant. Like, I don't know. I think I
I
found like maybe
I would
4 or 5 good ones, but
try putting in like Arizona business owner or Arizona businesses or something like that and start there. I would, you might be able to type in restaurant business owners, or I haven't tried restaurants. Let's see.
I mean,
Well,
I
for-
I consider doing that, but it seems like there's so many different people in those that it's not really focusing on my niche. And so I don't know how to say the word. And so, I did join a couple of small business owners, and there's like an ABI, Arizona Business Net ABN or whatever, and I'm in a couple of those, but I don't see
Go
any restaurants.
go type in restaurant business owners. I just typed it in and there's several groups come up: restaurant owners, restaurant owner group, news
Yeah,
and
I'm in all
tips,
those.
restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
but that's the thing. I can only find like 5 or 6, and they're like really not active, and they're really not. It's
oh,
I don't
there's
know.
several coming up whenever I just put it in.
Oh well, let's do a research. Let me look. Yeah, because I think I joined like maybe 6 or 7, but
But even if they're not active, get in there and maybe you comment, or maybe you create a group for restaurant business owners,
I thought about that too. Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you guys about that because I've been kind of considering that, and like some of the ones that I did join haven't been active in over a year type of stuff. And so I'm like, well, if I do create my own, how would it be like through my personal, and would it be specifically like for restaurant? And then how do you invite people to that without sounding spammy?
So you could post in like your local groups. So like I don't know, ours, we have like our neighborhood pages and stuff like that on Facebook, and just say like, hey, I'm a bookkeeper, I help restaurant business owners, I created this group so we can all connect and share tips and whatever, something along those lines.
Okay.
You could even make like say stuff like, make posts like, hey, I'm trying to do some market research, who are some business restaurant business owners that wanted to get some information on like pain points for the industry or something along those lines. That way you're not being salesy, you're just trying to ask them questions, but you're still like opening up that door, letting them know what you're doing. But you could go in those groups, and even if the people aren't, even if they're not that active, see if you can friend request some of the people in the groups. Then they're on your Facebook page, and when you create your group, then you got that.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I like that. Good stuff.
Ashley said she's interested in hearing about Craigslist strategy. I have found network groups don't have a lot of interaction, just a ton of posts. Yeah, I think some of them, when you go into like just the general business groups, some of them have that. But I think a lot of times if you do like more of the niche specific, they do, I feel like, if it's not like if it's those business owners in there.
And I'm going to challenge the group front. So even if it's a general group, everyone else in the group, most people in those groups are there to pitch themselves, right? It's all about me, myself, and I. If you get in the group and you're just serving them in your posts, in your videos, and like, let me help you, it's going to go so much farther than everyone else. Hey, come like my page. Hey, want to buy from me? Because you won't be doing that, right? So anytime someone is solving a legitimate problem and you're solving their need, you're creating value. You're telling a story that they can see themselves in. They put themselves into the story. They put themselves into the journey. You're going to get farther with those posts and those engagements. So like in Arizona, there's some groups. So Brian Newman is like the owner of them, but it's like Scottsdale Referral Network, the 101 Referral Network, North Phoenix Business Owners. Some of those are all Brian Newman. And a lot of people approach his groups that way. But I know from just building a personal relationship with him, if you got into those, and you're allowed to post, if you got into those and just started adding value with, here's a resource for tax strategies. Here's, yeah, and he's been going west and south and everywhere. He's doing a lot. I did just leave technically his group, but if you got in and taught them something, if you took an educational approach to those Facebook groups, your stuff is going to be seen and you're less likely to be kicked out. Because you're going to create actual engagement for the groups, and that's what they want. That's what they need, especially in Brian's groups. And there's a lot of business owners. I don't know, Nicole, if you're against taking on anyone that's not in your niche. Sometimes people are, sometimes people aren't.
I'm not. No, I mean, at this point, I need anyone. I just like I have diminished and I lost all these clients, and I thought, like, you know, if I could niche down, that maybe I can specialize and focus on, but I'm not against taking anyone, you know. And I have met Brian. We had a call actually, and he invited me to one of his events, but since I am like a stay-at-home mom with 2 babies, like I just not able to do the in-person networking. It just doesn't work with our schedule yet. And so I haven't really been able to, you know, network with him as much, but I am in like 2 or 3 of his groups that he has. And he has like a lot of a big network to get your foot in. I noticed.
Yeah, he really does. And his Tuesday nights are on Zoom links. There's Zoom on Tuesday nights, and he does breakout rooms so you can meet other business owners. I think you have to pay to be in it every Tuesday, but it is on Zoom, and it's like $20 a month.
Is it just like a BNI kind of type meeting, or is it just like?
But it's not exclusive. So there are other bookkeepers.
Oh.
And there's a bookkeeper called, her name is Eileen, and she buys every ad spot she possibly can, which is one reason I didn't continue. But I wasn't as big on Facebook in the groups as I should have been. I've even taken the kids to Mix and Mingles. Debbie's adding Take the Kids. It's $20 a month. That's an option, right? Maybe not the ideal option. If that's something that you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave the house because of kids. Don't force yourself to do something that like you don't want to do. I started doing that, and that was not in my own integrity. I really didn't want to be doing that, so I should not have been. If you want to, by all means, it is fun to go get out and have breakfast and take the kids and go. The other thing I would say is in Phoenix, I used to work at a CPA firm who does audits for restaurants. Connecting with CPAs who are doing audits or doing tax returns. So not every CPA is a tax professional, right? Just a friendly reminder there. But CPAs that are interacting with restaurant owners might be someone you need to connect with. Financial planners that are interacting with restaurant owners.
People?
CFOs.
How
So you can find them on LinkedIn, Facebook.
Like, do they specifically say like we CPAs for restaurant, or like how do you differentiate?
So
you know,
I mean, typically, yeah, they're physically saying like, we specialize in restaurant owners. So I'm gonna pull up that firm real quick and see how they word it for you. Oh, they were. I don't think their website's coming up because I'm in another state. Oh, maybe. Um, oh, they were bought out. They sold, so you'll see that with CPAs a lot. Because, so CPAs, because they're a professional partnership, they're a PLLC typically. Anytime a partner comes or goes, they have to completely rename their business, so. Okay, so I'm not gonna find what I was looking for, but if you click on their, so let me share my screen. So here, this is the former CPA firm, except rebranded, renamed, they were bought out. You'll see the industries. I went to the very bottom and there's industries. You can find this on a lot of CPA firm sites. And I no longer see restaurants on here as a called out industry, which could mean the CPA that was over that. I actually worked directly with him. Either that CPA left or they're no longer taking those clients. But you can find what industries they deal with. And the nice thing about doing this, especially in Phoenix, is if you could, if you wanted to network, so like at least you're in Phoenix, and I think you're pro networking right now for like season of life, right? So this isn't a bad thing or whatever. They host webinars, in-person trainings on those industries. So they're getting a bunch of people in the real estate world, in the dealership world, in whatever industry that they're talking to for that webinar. They're inviting all of them to come sit in a room and listen to the CPA speak. So it's like a lunch and learn. You could register and go sit in the room, be in the room. That's an example. Nicole, there's a lot of those that happen online now. So there's restaurant trainings with the AICPA and different things like that that you can register for and go attend. And then in the chat, connect with them on LinkedIn or Facebook and all of those things, so that they're seeing your stuff and they're seeing that you're a solution to their problem. Yeah, sorry, Elise.
Love that. That's so great.
All my stuff was like out of my head, get it out of my head. But this is a different way to approach that. But like I sat in those trainings as a staff member, so but Baker Tilly is, so this is a Phoenix CPA firm. There's a ton of them. This is a not a big four, they're a medium-sized CPA firm. When I left, I don't know what they just acquired into. So they're not a big four, obviously, but just a lot there. And then, okay, so let's take this a step further. How much, let me pause real quick. Are there any other, this is valuable, great advice. Awesome. So glad you guys are learning these things. With that said though, before I take this down the rabbit hole it could be taken down, is there any other questions with that? Or do you guys want me to run with the rabbit hole?
So real quick, do you like on any CPA website, they all have industries and like you can just kind of find some in your area and then like look on their website for that?
If they niched, Yeah, if
Oh,
they,
okay.
some CPAs don't because it's a one-man show and they just want anyone who can come their way. CPAs are no different than you. The only difference is they've taken an exam. Other than that, they're still learning. They're still learning. If they're a new CPA, they're learning how to do business. They're having to network just as hard as you do. Just because they have CPA in the name doesn't actually mean it comes easier to them. So they're doing the website thing just like you are. They're trying to figure out how to get their next client just like you are. And so really start to view them as a peer if you can, and a business partner, a professional partner.
You know, I mean, real fast you say that, but every single CPA I've talked to has talked down to me and been super like just not friendly. And you know, and so
I can't speak to their personality.
so
Once a jerk, maybe always a jerk. I don't know.
I will add to Nicole's point. Even yesterday, I met with someone who hired me last month, and I said, "Hey, I want to talk to the CPA directly, and I would recommend doing that. Like, if your client has that, just because I recently lost a client due to like complications with CPAs and bookkeeper, whatever. It was a nightmare, but oh well. Lesson learned, right? Everyone learn your lessons on things, opportunities, but." The gal was hilarious. I said, well, I would really like to connect with your CPA because there's stuff from 2019 that's still showing up on your balance sheet. And I said, I know that that's not on the tax return. So you can send me the prior tax returns, or I can just reach out to her directly. And I said, plus these other things. And she's like, she took this long pause and she's like, hey, in the South, we call it prickly. She's like, she's super prickly and she's in her 70s. So Nicole, be advised, like I'm now working as a controller in a different company, and they have told me over and over again that I'm way better than 99% of the bookkeepers they talk to because I'm not prickly, I'm not standoffish, and I'm friendly. So just be advised that I think a lot of people, I'm an introvert, but I've learned to have to like put on a hat, so to speak. So I think in general it's par for the course, but I would challenge you not to take it personally and just know like, I think Megan, I think I would die to this day, like saying it a million times to every person I meet, like Megan's phrase of you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So, anyways,
that's
my
good.
tangent.
And by the way, Elise, I am still prickly. That's great.
Yeah, I honestly, it is most of the CPAs I talk to, and it's just, I think kind of like surgeons, right? Like if you have ever had a situation and you have to go meet with a surgeon, which I pray you never have to do, but I had to do that when I was like 19, 20, they are super dismissive in person, right? Like they kind of generally talk down to you. They're dismissive of your feelings, they don't care, right? But for them, they are executors. Like if you're going to be on the operating table, like that's who you want to deal with, right? You don't care so much about personality, but I think it's the same sometimes with CPAs and other bookkeepers, right? Like they're good at what they do, but the personality side and the interaction side is lacking. So just try to take that, like if you just think of CPAs like surgeons, like they're all business, no fun. And then when you meet the rare person who's kind of both, you can be like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, for a fun person. But that's been my experience so far, is that by far they're not personable, but they might be really good at their job.
Good to know. It actually, like, it makes sense, you know, and it makes me nervous to talk to them because of that off-putting, you know, but yeah, I think you hit it on the head for sure.
I will say I don't have patience to work with a CPA whose CPA's license has gone to their head. We also have a CPA on the call today who is starting her bookkeeping business. And she's not that way either, if she wants to unmute and join the conversation. But my mother-in-law a year ago, so my sister's mother-in-law is actually a CPA. It's gone to her head. My mother-in-law turned to me and she's like, I'm so glad you didn't finish your CPA because of the personality. So like, I totally get that that's there, but that doesn't mean everyone. Sabrina, do you want to unmute and give your insight? Why are CPAs perceived as being prickly? How do they break through that?
Because we look at spreadsheets all day. We don't have lives. And not all CPAs are like made the same. My experience, like I'm on this call because I want to start my own bookkeeping business. I'm a mom and my job or my previous roles have like over consumed me. So I'm in the same position as you guys are, and I want to start my side hustle like in bookkeeping and learning. I need to learn QuickBooks. So like, yes, 15 years plus of accounting experience, like it's so for me, and I understand like I've audited different companies, but it's just so off-putting that like people view the bookkeepers who are the bread and butter of the reports that we produce. It just like that makes me sad, and it's really not how the profession or like how accountants like should be viewed at. And I guess this is also like the reason why so many people are leaving the industry. So kudos to like you all for taking on accounting. So thank you. All right, that's my 2 cents. I'm listening in. I love the advice you guys are giving.
Thank you.
Sabrina,
But-
you're like that's awesome. I like that you chimed in, and I'm glad that you're part of the group. And honestly, I had a CPA that was like, he I asked him a question, and he was like, let me explain equity to you. And he was talking to me like I couldn't hear him, and it was like, all right, I'm done. Like, and he didn't know anything about bookkeeping, and the things he was telling me was like, well, let me explain bookkeeping to you, because he was like telling me to do things that made no sense in the books. And so, I mean, I think, if we could have a meeting of the minds, all the CPAs get together with all the bookkeepers, we can have a party.
Absolutely, there would be harmony, not gonna lie.
But you can do that. You can overcome this and go talk to them. So when I left public accounting, I also had a negative view of bookkeepers, unfortunately. So now when I'm talking to people, I'm just as guilty, Nicole. I'm just as guilty, because it dawned on me as Sabrina was talking that I will say I'm not your fly-by-night bookkeeper. Right. So when I was doing, and Sabrina, you can probably relate. So we have to put audit points. If there are significant audit points, we have to put them in the financial statements.
Mhm.
And sometimes those audit points were that they have bookkeepers that are not trained or skilled enough to do the work. So absolutely, Nicole, but like the reason I bring that up is you can get skilled. You are skilled. Right? So if you know how bookkeeping can be done, the CPA just wants the financial statement to look right. They don't care that QuickBooks, you have to do the certain thing to get the AR off the books. They don't care about the aging. They do, but they don't, right? They do from testing and all of those things, but they want those financials to be correct, regardless of what button you have to click, because they'll just do a journal entry. A journal entry doesn't solve that, because the software doesn't work that way. Right? So that you have to fix the transaction. They're just going to go do a journal entry. It's your job to figure it out. And it's your job to know the journal entry means this, and I need to click this button over here to force that journal entry, and then make a note that I did this to execute the journal entry. Does that make sense? So they're not going to see the journal entry on the books. But as you're having this conversation with us, you can go have better conversations with CPAs. But maybe you don't connect with CPAs. They're too prickly. If they're too prickly, CFOs aren't as prickly. CFOs sometimes are nicer. Financial planners, female financial planners are amazing to work with, right? Sometimes female CPAs are awful to work with. Sorry, Sabrina. Because there is this, so keep in mind from the CPA's perspective, and I know we're kind of wrapping up soon, a female CPA, and I am not a feminist, I am not any of those things. She has had to work really hard in her field to earn credibility amongst the men she works with. She is in a male-dominated industry. CPAs are also threatened by you. You're taking their work away. They're just like you. And they have a company that they have to run. They have to staff employees, and they have to provide the bookkeeping. So they're having to train bookkeepers. You're taking their work away, potentially, if they do bookkeeping. You can potentially threaten them because you're going to find something wrong and take their tax client away. You have the influence on that client to take them away, to encourage them to go elsewhere. So you're also a threat to them. So prickliness is I'm insecure in my own business too, right? And that's not true for all CPAs. I have had countless, and maybe it's the industry. Nonprofit CPAs sometimes aren't so prickly because they're doing nonprofit, and there is an aspect of when you do a nonprofit that you have the heart to love nonprofits. Got to tell you, CPAs aren't discounted for nonprofits, but there's a different. The nonprofit department in my CPA firm was definitely different than the for-profit. In the way that they partied, in the way that they went to lunch, in the way that they completed the work, the camaraderie, all of those things are definitely different. So it's like cutthroat in the for-profit. It's like mushy party on the nonprofit side. So that might be some of it too, is finding. But there's how many CPAs in the United States? I have no clue. There's a ton. So just don't find the prickly ones. I like that word too, Elise. Yeah, absolutely, Jenny. Glad you were able to jump on. Hopefully it was helpful. Okay, so we have got a few more minutes, and then I know Megan has to jump off for a one-to-one and all of those fun things. Any questions?
I learned so much today. You guys really taught me some things, and just talking about the CPAs it's actually helped me out a lot today. So thanks for all the value.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And it's a big thing. Like, I'm just as guilty. Go ahead, Sabrina.
No, I just have to compliment you on the CPEs. That advice was awesome on chiming in or finding, like, CPAs have to take like CPE credits, and there a lot of times it can be free, but that's such an awesome way to network. Yeah, that was brilliant.
CPAs also let their guard down. They're not having to answer, like, their phone goes off until break. So like, you can get into conversations during CPE because they're amongst their peers. So you being in the room, it changes. Like, and as staff, I've gone to CPEs for the CPAs because all of a sudden they're like, I can't go, I have a client meeting, but I don't want to waste the ticket. Go on my behalf. They don't get the same credit for it or whatever, but like, I would get it as a staff and things like that. It can just be fun to like go and listen, and you learn so many things from that will strengthen the bookkeeping business. And it's tax deductible. Yeah, I don't need that reminder, but if you're gonna do CPE, that's a good way, whether it's a Zoom call or in person. So connecting with your AI CPA is a really good, your local AI CPA. There's one in Phoenix. It's down in Tempe by the light rail over there. So if you're looking for where it's at, it's there. Parking is pretty easy. So okay. Thanks, Sabrina, for chiming in. We appreciate you joining. So continue the conversations. If you guys think of stuff in the Facebook group, let's connect with each other, build that relationship. We all make each other stronger 100%. So, okay. Well, I will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.